Kia ora whanau, how's it going? Welcome back to Kaitiaki Mara Kai. This is my update on my backyard garden. So here I thought I'd just give you a bit of a nosy, and boy, I tell you, the things that I've been fighting against this time are the weeds. So anyway, here's where we're going. Here's our tomatoes. We're going here. Along quite well. Obviously you have to stake them. The other thing that I've been doing too, as you can see, I've been pulling off, if I go into here, see this shoot, pull that out, take that off. I've also been taking off these lower shoots and so forth. Now that one I just pulled off, so for example in there, if you leave that in there, they'll actually grow another branch like this was going in here, so you pull that out. Now if you're wanting to grow more tomatoes, according to the tomato man, you actually let that grow a bit, and I'll see if I can find one, so that it looks like, I don't seem to have one. Oh, yes, here we go. So see that one in here? See that one there? Now, if we let that grow a bit, you can then plant it in the soil and it creates that. So what I've done now is I actually took this one off this one here and planted it in. And once that fruit comes off, it'll die away, this one will grow up. So you're now starting to have cycles of tomatoes come through. But yeah, these are the tomatoes. The basil along the front has a beautiful basil smell, and you can see I put some more peach straw down. There's my tomato, pumpkin, sorry, it's been a long day. Here are the potatoes. They're growing up there, and at the back over there I've put some kumara in, some pumpkin and squash. Here are my lettuces. Along the front there, silver beet, broccoli, bok choy. It's getting a bit warm. I was talking to a gardener and saying the yellow part there, saying that actually it's getting a bit too warm for them. Put some more salad lettuce in there. Got celery. These are our capsicums. First time growing them, so I just want to see what that's like. Is this one in here? This one is courgettes. Yep. Yep. This is the kumara bit, and then alongside, that's where I put my other pumpkins, and I planted some more tomatoes along there. So they're now getting to a point where I actually need to stake them. And in the garden part, in the sense of like over there, when they clean that up, I've also put some other vegetables in. So I've got some more lettuces down there, some more tomatoes. And I've done the same on the other side here as well. So put some tomatoes there, and there, some more lettuces. Got some tomatoes in here. As you can see, I actually love potatoes. Some more lettuce in there. So I'm just filling it up, and then obviously have to water it. But security, Kai security. Now at the back here, remember the backyard part that I talked about along the fence? Well, there's along the fence. This grass is terrible. You have to keep working at it. But again, corn's slowly coming up, tomatoes are coming up. So let's have a look in here. I'll get a greater example of what I was talking about earlier. So see how that, I've only been a bit late with this one, but see how, if I go back a bit, you see the main trunk of the tomato there, and it actually goes up. This is the line that you actually want to follow. But with now this bit growing out, that little shoot, see here's a shoot in here, this shoot, I could pull that out and plant it and it'll actually grow. And possibly the same with this one too, actually I might try that. But that's what happens, you start having all these shoots come off. But what you actually want to do is try to train your tomato to go up the stake, and then you'll have these little bits branch out. Now, as I've done before, I'll break off. I have to cut those off. But here's an example of in there. Just break it off. Here's a shoot in here. Break it off. Otherwise, all the energy is just going to grow into that. But as I said before, you could dig a hole. In fact, I'll do that with this one, and I'll show you what it's going to look like later on. And I'll just start watering it, and that will actually grow. According to our tomato man, who's an expert at growing tomatoes in Kaikoui. Yeah, it's just taking these little shoots off. Otherwise, you're going to have all this energy spent on growing these shoots off. And really you want this trunk to grow up, get nice and strong, so then the fruits will come. So the first part of it is the flowers, and then as you saw on this side over here, it's those flowers turned into green tomatoes, and in time, you can see there's a bunch there, there's a bunch on that one over there. But yeah, I've got to clean the edge up. I'm forever pulling the weeds off, and when you don't have to have it to rain a couple of days and then she's away, you know. So I'm just pulling off these smaller shoots. See, here's an example. Look at that. Take a bigger shot. So there's the trunk, goes up there, but I've left this shoot to grow mistakenly. So what I'll actually do is I might see if it can come out. Yes, it will come out. And so now I'm going to plant this, and hopefully it'll grow. So just put my finger in, put it all the way in, and I'll give it a water tonight, and we'll just see how that takes away. And now you've actually now got successive planting, where these will grow up, this one will start growing, and you're now layering out your fruit or your crop for your harvest. It's not all going to come at once, but there's succession planting. One thing I've really noticed here, that the vegetables, or the green ones at least, like light. So look at that. See how the potatoes are leaning this way? Same too with the corn, they're leaning that way. So they like light. And obviously for here, and the way this place is laid out, the sun comes in from that part of the morning and comes across. And so they're aiming towards the light. And I put some more basil in. Anyway, that's our garden. Been around to a few whanau that had a garden, as you saw. Matua Phil, this is doing well on his, and yeah, like this if you do like it, let us know, and a thumbs up, share around. I'm still considering turning this bit into a garden, but it's all mahi and takes a bit of time. But anyway, there's an update. It's all doing good. pretty stoked with that. It's just the weeds, like look at that, gotta clean that back. Yeah, I'm buying along the fence, but they're taking off alright. Okay whanau, anei te kōrero o te kaupapa Kaitiaki Mara Kai. Yeah, post up yours if you've got one. Connect and our whanau on Hei Oranga. Answer the survey, and we're keen to do some more gardens. If you're keen to have one, let us know. Give us some feedback, even if it's in the new year. Food security, sustainability. We're going to have some tough times coming up next year, next couple of years I believe, and we need to get into a rhythm where we're not passive, we're active, we're out doing stuff to look after our whānau and our community. Kai-wise, housing, economics, can't rely on the government, makes you passive, got to rely on each other. Alright whānau, hei kona. Well yeah, by the way, here's our herb garden. Okay, put down. Let's get out of the way. Sage, thyme, coriander I think, over there. Anyway, it's coming along. Keep weeding it. Alright.